안녕하세요. ABO와 관계자 여러분. 네, 먼저 한국 아메이의 수많은 ABO 여러분께 인사드립니다. 아메이는 직접 판매 시장 중에서 가장 규모가 크고 우수한 회사로 소비자에게 필요한 제품과 더 나은 삶을 살 수 있도록 서비스를 제공하는 부분에 축하의 말씀을 드립니다. 한국 아메이를 이해하고 도울 수 있도록 초청해 주셔서 감사합니다. 한국 아메이는 특히 다른 나라들에 뒤처지지 않고 현재 전 세계 넘버 3로 자리 잡고 있는 훌륭한 회사입니다. 저 또한 한국 아메이의 성공과 영향력을 보면 매우 기쁘고 흥분됩니다. 마케팅은 항상 진화해 왔습니다. 프리 디지털 단계에서도 당시 마케팅은 효과가 뛰어났습니다. 그때 너무 많은 회사들이 디지털은 필요 없고 과거의 방식으로 기업을 운영하겠다는 판단을 했기 때문에 큰 피해를 입었습니다. 왜냐하면 디지털은 너무나 많은 접근성을 제공해 주는데 그 기회를 놓쳤기 때문입니다. 디지털은 시장 전체에 대한 접근성뿐만 아니라 개인 고객에 대한 접근성도 높여줍니다. 모든 세일즈맨들이 고객을 잘 알게 되고 더 많은 고객의 정보를 수집할 수 있게 되었습니다. 회사는 디지털을 통해서 소비자의 특정군뿐만 아니라 개개인과 그들의 요구에 대해서도 집중할 수 있게 합니다. 여기서 가장 중요한 것은 여러분들이 얼마나 디지털화 되어 있는지, 그리고 소비자들이 요구하는 것을 파악하고 그들의 채널과 매체를 사용하고 있는지, 이 모든 정보를 수집하고 있는지입니다. 그 어떤 정보라도 소비자의 요구를 맞추는 데 도움이 됩니다. 그리고 이것은 사람들을 더 많이 도울 수 있음을 의미합니다. 네, 책 제목의 H2H는 사람 대 사람을 의미합니다. H2H는 우리가 사람들을 돕는 사람들이다 라는 의미이죠. 단순하게 제품을 제공하는 것이 아니라 양질의 제품을 만들고 사람들의 삶이 더 나아질 수 있도록 도와주는 것입니다. 그것은 소비자뿐만이 아니라 우리의 직원들, 공급업체들, 대리점들, 유통업체들 모두를 의미합니다. 그리고 휴먼 투 휴먼에서는 보다 포괄적인 현대 마케팅한 그림을 제시하고자 합니다. 여러분들이 이해하고 있듯이 마케팅 5.0은 새로운 마케팅 분석 틀의 개발에 집중하고 있습니다. 우리는 그것을 마테크라고 부르죠. 마케팅 툴입니다. H2H는 마케팅에 대한 교과서이지만 기존 마케팅 이론서와는 다르게 이 교재에서는 3가지 분야를 가지고 포괄적으로 확대해서 다루고자 합니다. 첫째, 디자인의 중요성을 강조하고 있습니다. 제품을 디자인하는 것뿐만 아니라 사람들 간의 관계를 디자인하는 것을 의미합니다. 둘째, 우리 관계의 기초는 제품이 아닌 서비스라는 것을 이해해야 합니다. 소비자가 원하는 것은 자신들이 가지고 있는 문제점의 해결책입니다. 그 해결책이 제품 자체가 될 수도 있겠지만 중요한 것은 제공하는 서비스가 소비자를 얼마나 만족시킬 수 있느냐입니다. 그리고 셋째로 강조하는 것이 있습니다. 그것은 H2H가 마케팅 5.0 이상으로 나아가고자 하는 사람들에게 아주 좋은 보완책이라는 것입니다.
Yes, I am such a favor
네, 저는
person to
여성들이
favor
더 많은
more jobs for
일자리를
more women
가지기를 바라는
because
사람 중
women
한
bring to the
명입니다.
job
그
more
이유는
of a
여성들이 좀 더
nurturing
따뜻한
attitude.
마음으로 육아하듯
First of
직장에
all, they are
임하기
the ones
때문이죠.
who are knowing the customers intimately.
우선
Why?
여성들이
Because
소비자들을
they
가장
themselves
잘 아는
are the
사람들입니다.
major buyers of
왜냐하면
goods and services.
여성들이
If you look
제품과
at anyone's
서비스를
home
사용하는
and what was
가장 큰
brought into the home
소비자들이기
was
때문이죠.
brought in by a woman shopping at Amway and
누구의
elsewhere
집이든
to
가만히
bring in the
들여다보면
goods that the
대부분의
family
제품들은
needs.
여성들이
So
아메이
women have a
또는
better
다른 곳에서
understanding
구매한
of
것입니다.
marketing
따라서 여성들이
and of
마케팅이나 니즈에
needs.
대한 이해도가
And
더 높을
therefore, when
수밖에
we put them in
없습니다.
good positions of leadership, where they are
그래서
trying to help
리더십을
others,
요구하는
women who are
위치에
80% of
여성들을
the buyers of
배치한다면
things, well, then they should be
80%를
more
구성하는
understanding of
여성들의
messages
메시지를 이해하고
and
공감 능력을 이끌어낼 수 있습니다.
sympathies that, buying is an emotional
아시겠지만
thing. And to
구매는
understand
감성적
a
행위입니다.
woman's emotion is done better by a
여성
woman
소비자들의
who is
감성은
helping her than a man
남성들보다
helping her. So
여성들이
I
가장 잘
want to
알죠.
add one more thing. If we look at the
그래서 한마디
leaders
더
of
하자면
companies, there's an increasing
점점
number
더
of
많은
Fortune
포춘
500
500
companies that
기업들이
are run by
기업
women.
수장을 여성들로
Walgreens.
구성하고 있습니다.
I have a list on my slides
월그린
where
등
women
제
are
자료에도
running major
여성들이
companies.
이끄는
So
대기업들의
this is
리스트가
happening.
있습니다.
It should happen
네,
faster.
현실은
We need
이렇습니다.
empowering women
더
to
빨리
join
강인한
that
여성들이
in running
남성들과
companies
더불어
and
기업과
do
마케팅,
marketing and finance.
인터넷을 이끄는 시대가 되어야 합니다.
It's a very good question about the future.
네,
You're
미래에
really telling me
관련해서 아주
that
좋은
it's not the
질문입니다.
future for you, it's
하지만
the present.
질문자께서
You've gone
말씀하시는
into
내용은 여러분들에게 미래가 아닌 현재입니다.
new multiverse, and it turns out
여러분들은
that
이미 새로운
we are
멀티버스에
talking about
진입했고
creating another
새로운
reality.
현실을 만들고
Of
있습니다.
course, we are familiar with marketing in
물론
the real
현실
world,
세계에서의 마케팅은 친숙하지만
the metaverse will be another world.
메타버스는 완전히 다른 세상이 될 것이고 여기에 들어오는 모든 사람들 사이에 현실적인 요소들도 생기게 될 것입니다. 예를 들어 메타버스에는 부동산이 생겨날 것이고 엄청나게 넓은 토지를 구매하고자 하는 회사들이 나타날 것입니다. 또 매장을 만들고 싶어 하고 아마 주거단지까지 생길지도 모르겠습니다. 제가 만났던 사람 중에 메타버스 관련된 분이 있어서 경험했던 기억이 납니다. 가상 공간에서 많은 사람들을 만났고 제가 코스튬을 입고 있던 것이 생각나네요. 저는 아바타였고 다른 아바타들을 많이 만났습니다. 아주 흥미로웠죠. 그리고 저는 메타버스 속 제 집 난방을 위해 누군가로부터 난로를 구매했던 것이 기억납니다. 하여튼 저는 한국 아메이가 메타버스가 새로운 시도를 하고 있다는 점이 아주 기쁩니다. 둘째로 마테크와 마켓 5.0에서 설명하는 새로운 디지털 시대로 가기 위해 여러분들이 최선을 다하고 있다고 생각합니다. 궁극적으로 우리가 알고자 하는 것은 재무적으로 이 모든 활동들이 어떤 영향을 가져오는지 측정하는 데 있습니다. 30초짜리 광고, 그리고 잡지나 인쇄 광고뿐만 아니라 페이스북을 통한 광고로 비용을 회수하고 있는지, 틱톡이나 여러 가지 새로운 플랫폼들은 어떤지 말이죠. 그래서 소셜미디어를 도구로 개개인의 고객과 그들의 요구사항을 파악하는 것이 아주 중요하다고 할 수 있습니다. 네, 저는 사람들의 라이프 스타일이 바뀌는 것을 항상 보고 있습니다. 예를 들어 건강에 대한 관심으로 인해 더 건강한 음식을 먹고 운동을 더 하고 금연을 하고 금주를 하고 마약을 하지 않는 것처럼요. 정말 많은 변화들과 함께 살아가고 있습니다. 먼저 우리의 소비자는 50년대 베이비 부머로부터 밀레니얼 그리고 센테니얼을 이루는 5세대가 공존하고 있다는 것을 우선 이해해야 합니다. 이것은 아메이가 더 젊은 세대를 이해하고 수용하기 위해 더 많은 노력을 해야 한다는 것을 의미합니다. 그들이 기본적으로 바라는 가치가 이전 세대와는 다르기 때문이죠. 그들은 소위 말하는 워라밸을 추구합니다. 가족 그리고 친구들과 더 많은 시간을 보내고 싶어 하죠. 더 이상 일 하나만 바라보는 세대가 아니라 더 충만한 삶을 원하는 세대입니다. 능력 있는 인재와 함께 일하길 원한다면 그들이 가진 다른 기회들과 경쟁을 해야 하는데 그들은 삼성, LG, 기아, 현대와 같은 기업에서 일할 수 있는 선택권이 있죠. 따라서 함께하길 원하는 인재가 있다면 그들이 원하는 워라밸과 충만하고 가치 있는 삶을 제시해야 합니다. 그리고 추가로 전통적으로 마케팅은 어느 누구의 가치관을 바꾸는 것보다 니즈를 충족시키는 것에 주력해왔습니다. 만약 누군가 담배를 피우고 싶었다면 그것은 그들의 취향이기 때문에 그것에 대한 평가는 하지 않고 그냥 담배만 제조하면 되었습니다. 하지만 오늘날의 사람들은 더 영혼을 가지고 업무에 임하고 있습니다. 개개인이 좋은 것도 좋지만 사회에 도움이 되어야 합니다. 술을 마시는 사람이 많아지고 담배를 많이 펴서 사람들의 사망률이 높으면 좋았던 시절이 있었고 심지어 오늘날에도 있습니다. 하지만 우리는 사람들의 가치관과 행동, 라이프 스타일에 영향을 주는 것에 관심을 가져야 합니다. 이것은 새로운 사고와 접근 방식입니다. 제가 자료를 바탕으로 발표하기 전 할 말씀 드리겠습니다. 아메이의 사업가들 그리고 ABO 여러분, 여러분들은 매우 훌륭한 목적을 가지고 있습니다. 여러분들의 회사는 다른 기업들과는 다릅니다. 일반적으로 제조사는 좋은 제품을 만들어 도매사에 팔고 도매사는 또 소매사에 판매를 하고 소매사는 제품을 전시하여 소비자에게 판매하게 됩니다. 하지만 그들은 각 제품에 대해 설명하거나 판매할 사람이 없기 때문에 제품이 말을 할 수 있다면 얼마나 좋을까 하고 깨닫고 있습니다. 케찹 또는 옥수수 캔을 예를 들어볼까요? 제가 가장 좋은 옥수수 캔이라고 예시로 들어보죠. 여기 제 경쟁 제품이 아닌 저를 구매할 이유가 있습니다. 스프도 똑같아요. 프로그레소가 아닌 캠벨 스프를 구매하세요. 캠벨 스프가 더 맛있기 때문이죠. 아시다시피 캔이 이렇게 말을 할 수 있도록 프로그래밍하기는 매우 어렵습니다. 아메이가 매우 훌륭한 점은 아메이에서는 ABO 여러분이 제품이 왜 좋은지 직접 설명을 할 뿐 아니라 구매 전 여러 질문 사항에 대응할 수 있기 때문입니다. 매우 차별화된 유통 방식입니다.
shouldn't more retailing be the
이렇게
Amway
보면
way instead of
어쩌면
the
모든 유통들이
where it's so impersonal
아메이처럼 따라가야
and
하지
just
않을까요?
customers looking at cans on a
현재는
shelf?
그냥 소비자들이 선반에 전시된 깡통을 바라보고 구매하는 방식일 뿐입니다.
Also, there's another thing.
제 생각은 그렇습니다.
We are going to increasingly have to
그리고
pay
우리는
attention
이제
to
앞으로
sustainability.
지속 가능성에 집중을 해야 합니다.
And we have to worry about too much packaging, too much plastic,
우리는 너무 많은 포장재와
too much
플라스틱,
waste.
쓰레기를 걱정해야 하고
And Amway itself
아메이는
has to make sustainability
이제 이윤과
the
같이
next key
지속성을
topic.
고민해야
Both
합니다.
of them must be balanced.
이 두 가지가 균형을 이뤄야 합니다.
Company that generates
이제
net
여러분들은
zero carbon.
탄소 중립을 이루는 회사로 변모해야 할 것입니다.
Carbon happens whenever
탄소란 무엇일까요?
whenever you manufacture
탄소는 이동을 하거나 생산을 할 때 발생합니다.
carbon dioxide,
이산화탄소 말이죠.
and that is warming the planet.
바로 이것이 지구 온난화의
Those
주범입니다.
people who really understand this are taking it so seriously that they
이것을
wanna
깊게
turn
이해하는
off the
사람들은
lights.
평소에
They
전등을
wanna
잘 끄고
cool their house without overwarming it. They want to make a number. They want to travel less.
난방과
They
여행도
want a
줄이고
smaller car so they don't
소형차를
use so much
구매해
gas. They know
휘발유
all
소비량을
these
줄이게
factors
됩니다.
that increase carbon. And the way to
그들은
get
이산화탄소
net zero
배출의 악영향을 잘 이해하고 중립을 위해 노력하는 것입니다.
oil and gas to
탄소
turn
중립을
to
위해
what's
석탄,
called
석유,
renewable
가스로부터
energy, so
탈피하여
solar,
재생 가능
wind,
에너지로 전환을 해야 합니다.
water. And as a
태양열,
result,
풍력, 그리고
then
수력
you are
등을 사용하여
decarbonizing. You're lowering that,
탄소로부터
and if you're
벗어나야
looking at
합니다.
net zero, it says that,
물론
yes,
제조는
in your
이산화탄소를
manufacturing, you
많이
create a lot of
만들어내지만
carbon, but in your
여러분은
way of
평소
doing it,
생활할
you
때도
have
탄소를
reduced
줄이는
the
데
amount of
노력해야 합니다.
carbon.
또한
You've also been
탄소에
priced
세금을
to pay
부과하게
something for
되는데
your carbon. You pay the
탄소세라고
carbon
부릅니다.
price. And you
그리고
can also
여러분들은
buy
배출된
carbon
이산화탄소의 양만큼
offsets. So
환경기금에
your
투자하는
hope as
탄소
companies
상세라는 것을
is to
구매할
help
수도
your
있습니다.
people
여러분들은 사람들이 더 적은 것으로 더
do
많이
more
할
with
수 있도록
less.
도와야 합니다.
And the real question is whether eventually, if things get a warmer
진짜
and warmer
질문은
planet,
지구가 점점 더
all of us
따뜻해진다면
will begin to sing a new song, which is called this: Less is more.
우리는 더
Less
적게 더
is
많이라는
more.
노래를
A
부르게 될
simpler
것이란
life
말입니다.
may be more.
더 적게, 더
And
많이,
so we all
검소한
have to be
삶이 더
good
좋을
citizens.
수도 있습니다.
And as companies balance
그래서
making
우리는
profits
모범 시민이
and being
되어
sustainable.
이윤과 더불어 지속 가능성을 고민해야 합니다.
I would say that we all want the world to be a better place for everyone.
우리는 모두 세상이 더
The world,
좋아지기를
however,
바랍니다.
in the last few years has had a number
그러나
of problems.
지난 수년간 세계적으로 많은 문제가 있었습니다. 바로 코로나죠. 끝난 줄 알았는데 재유행이 되고 있으니 모두 조심하길 바랍니다. 또 기후 변화가 있죠. 지구는 점점 뜨거워지고 있어 반갑지 않은 현상입니다. 해변가에 있는 도시에 산다면 홍수도 있고 만연설은 녹을 것이며 도시는 더 뜨거워져서 사람들은 시원한 곳으로 대피해야 할지도 모릅니다. 그리고 이제 우크라이나 사건도 있습니다. 한 나라가 다른 나라를 무너뜨리려는 비극적인 상황입니다. 모두가 낙관적으로 생각하길 기대해 봅니다. 우리는 지금까지 언급했던 상황들을 여전히 다루고 있습니다. 그렇지만 항상 문제가 있다고 비관적인 태도를 보일 필요는 없습니다. 이는 패배주의적 행동이며 결국 실패로 이어지기 때문이죠. 저는 여러분이 모든 상황에서 더 좋아질 수 있다는 희망으로 가득 찼으면 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다.
There are my slides, and that's my first slide. And if you're ready, it starts with the statement that marketing is getting better. In other words, it's going to do a better job in the future. These are some of the books you know about because we mentioned them. But let me say, greetings, that I've known other direct selling companies. I know about Avon and Natura, But Amway is the world's largest direct selling company. And I already told you why I like direct selling over normal old-fashioned retailing. And Amway manufactures and distributes nutrition and beauty and personal care and home products to over 100 countries. And Korea Amway, South Korea Amway, ranks number 3 among all the other Amways around the world. And also, it has its shops too to demonstrate many of its products. So some observations. Please think of yourself in working for Amway that you are basically, yes, you supply products, but you are a supplier of value. And you're competing with other companies that supply value. You have to be good at creating, communicating, and delivering value. And most marketing has moved from the old level of mass marketing. You know, Coca-Cola still does mass marketing, to segment marketing. But what's good about Amway is you're already at that third stage, individual customer marketing. And that means your people collect a lot of data about their customers. And they use the data to create moments of value and truth. And there are new tools, digital tools, that can help you. So let's move on and make some more observations. Very important that Amway people balance high tech and high touch. You remember that famous book that came out, not just on high technology, but saying, don't forget high touch, being personal with your customers, as well as giving things in the best form. And you know, your selling system is exactly set up to deliver not just high technology, but high touch as well. And women make up 80% of your company. And remember that March 8th was International Women's Day. Today, 23 women now run global 500 businesses, including Walgreens, TIAA, Citigroup, ZVS, Health, Starbucks, etc. Isn't that impressive? And they should run half the companies eventually in the world. I'm impressed with other South Korean companies. I've worked for Samsung, I've worked for LG, Hyundai and Kia, and others in electronics, engineering, automotive, digital are really great companies. And of course, that means many Amway customers and family members work in these great companies too. And I know that Amway is digitally transforming its ordering system, very important, the payment system, and its digital tools. And that customers are growing in their interest in health and well-being. And so when you make your products and sell them, remember to train your people to provide useful information about living a healthier life and a happier life. Now, my thing about marketing getting better is you have a picture now of my 15th edition of Marketing Management. You know, I wrote the first book in 1967, and I had this funny experience with the CMO of a CEO of a major company. He came up to me at a speech I was giving, in a live speech, and said, will you sign my book? So I looked at the book. It was my book. It was my 1967 book on marketing, not the one you see in the picture. And I said to him, are you using that old book? He said, oh yes, sometimes problems come up and I read your book to see what it says about solving the problem. I said, but the book has no digital in it. The book doesn't have anything about customer lifetime value. The book has only 3 pages on branding. I mean, you need a new book. He said, well, I guess, are you trying to sell me a new book? I said, yes, but for your sake, because I'm in the 15th edition now, and you need the latest marketing. Marketing changes every few years. So I made the point. In fact, right now I'm working on a new book that will come out in the end of this year called Entrepreneurial Marketing. And it's a little different than professional marketing because I have the feeling that professional marketers do a great job in selling what you made. That's your purpose. Sell what you made. Then you're a good professional marketer. But how about making some new things? How about creating new things you should be making? And that's all about entrepreneurial marketing and creating a set of entrepreneurial marketers in your company who come up with new ideas. If you look at how marketing has passed through stages, you know that early marketing was very rational. This is my product. It is very good. People say it is good. It is priced at $10. Buy it, period. What a rational statement. Yes, but it's kind of a cold statement. And what we realized is more buying today and traditionally is emotional, not just a response to a rational message. And those who understand that, and by the way, this also applies to business marketing. Even a business firm selling to another business firm, there will be emotions in the part of the seller and the buyer. I have no doubt about that. Now, Marketing 3.0 came out about well-being marketing. Your mission is to create well-being. And then when 4.0 came out, mission was to get you to go digital, move from traditional to digital. And the book you cared about recently is 5.0, which said we need new technology to help us help improve humanity. So this is a simple way of looking at 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 marketing. Look at 1.0. Ask yourself, is marketing for you all about mind, all about the product, all about just economic value, and all about profits? That's the old model. Yes, it worked. But I think it would work better if Marketing 2.0 was being exercised. That marketing comes from your heart, your care for the customer, your care for people in general, and that you want social progress. That's a more enlightened view of marketing. It's even more enlightened if the Marketing 3.0, the whole spirit is about helping people, values, about the environment as well, and creating more human happiness. So one has to think about the type of marketing they're going to be doing. Now, here's the thing. I want to move forward. You know, marketing has become quite technical. I don't think I want to go into any great details, but you may have heard that that when you start your marketing program, you don't start with the 4 P's: product, price, place, and promotion. You start with the 4 A's. You ask, here is someone who might be a customer. Is she aware of our product? Is she able to find where to get it? Does she accept our product? Can she afford our product? Those 4 A's must be first established. And when they rank high awareness, high accessibility, high acceptability, and affordability, then that's going to be a good customer. Then you use your product, price, place, promotion to back that up. And always remember, the players are 4: your company, your customers, your collaborators who work with your company, and your competitors. And you're going to do your segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So there's a whole process. It comes up every time you're doing your new plan. And it should start with marketing research. Where are you? What do you know about the customers and the competitors? And then it leads to segmentation, targeting, positioning. Then to choosing your target market. Then to offering a statement to your target market called the value proposition. And then building all that into your marketing plan, and then implementing your marketing plan successfully, and then to know whether you were successful, do C, which is control. Get feedback to see whether you've met your goals and your objectives. Okay, everyone listening to me knows that this is the basic marketing text. You could ask, well, what's the purpose of marketing in these strange times? Now, a good, big, long-winded definition that you might say is your company's proposition to make and sell products and services that are attractive and appropriate to different consumers who have different preferences and incomes. Very good. A shorter definition. The purpose is to create, communicate, and deliver value that satisfies a target market's need or desire at a profit. You know, I've used symbols for that. CCDVTP. Create, communicate, deliver value to a target market at a profit. I would add also to innovate new and better products and services and create new markets. That's a higher purpose. And a much higher purpose is to create higher well-being for people, better lives for people. So when you get them down to it, there's 4 things that any salesperson at Amway has to do. 1, to get customers, find them, get them. 2, to keep customers, coming back again and again. 3, to grow each one. Sometimes you do upselling. You create a better version of a product that they've been buying. Or you do cross-selling. You get them to buy additional products that you make. And then you lose some customers, but don't give up. You may be able to win them back. Those are the 4 big tasks, and salespeople need to be trained in those 4 tasks. Remember, today's consumers are so smart. They have smartphones. They can answer on their phone millions of questions. They can check your prices and competitors' prices, and even check reviews of competing products. And customers are going to do that. So you can't fool any customer. They know the price of the other products too that are competing. So you have to, as Amway, equip your salespeople with detailed information about the customers, and even put on their phones demonstrations of products and superior processes on their mobile phone. And please remember that we have at least 4 generations. The people who run companies and the top managers, they're baby boomers. They were born a long time ago. They're older people now. Generation X, who are they? Well, they're the people probably managing a lot of people and employees. Generation Y are the people who grew up who were born 1981, but they're now in their 20s, and you want to attract them. They're your future buyers. And then the youngest group is now out of college, basically. I think they're the centennials, but they're very young. And they're a little different than the millennials, but both of those generations differ from the earlier generations in 3 ways. And each generation grows up with different world events. For example, the baby boomers grew up with World War II. You know, the music was different. The movies they saw were different. There were different social movements. Very different for generation Y and Z. I mean, they're in a different world than the baby boomers world. So every generation has different preferences toward products and brands and services. And as you think about it, we got to shape our offers to the generation that's involved. What we do know is that millennials and centennials share three values. They want a better balance between work, family, and friends, not all work. Two, they are concerned with the environment. They grew up hearing that we must worry about pollution, bad water, bad air, bad soil. So they're concerned with the environment. And they also are concerned with problems of hunger, of poverty. They're different than the older generation. And they want your company to be liberal and to take up some causes and so on. And always remember that your consumers are ready to search their phone for best prices. I mean, 71% of consumers will search their firm. 77% also want a personalized experience in their digital purchasing. In other words, that they don't get at a retailer, at in a supermarket where you go, you face shelves. So, but Amway develops a personalized experience. This is a good chart found in Marketing 5.0, and it uses something we created as the 5 stages of being a consumer for Amway. Helping people become aware of Amway, helping them find Amway appealing, realizing they have questions about Amway. They will ask those questions and you will answer them in a good way. They will have enough confidence to make their first purchase from Amway. And if they're really happy, they make a second or third purchase. They become an advocate. Hopefully they become a fan of Amway. They're proud to say to their friends, you ask where I got this product, this skincare product, I got it from Amway. They actually become net promoters. They become your marketers. You know, your best customers are always doing the marketing work for you. If all of your customers were advocates, you would need to spend nothing on marketing. All of it would be done by your advocates, your fans. Anyways, what this diagram also does is show the tools at the different stages. For example, the advertising is the first tool, and it's very powerful in creating awareness, appeal, and answering questions. Content marketing is similar. It adds some extra content that wasn't asked for. And then you start using direct marketing, because that allows you to know more about what the customer has already bought from you and what the customer may be ready to buy from you. So direct marketing is the next stage. And then sales CRM, customer relationship marketing. You move into a stage where any customer can call the salesperson and get questions answered, and the salesperson knows a great deal about each customer. And finally, you make every distribution channel work for you. So it's easy for your customers and advocates to always get an easy way to find your product. You've even put some of your products possibly in vending machines, or you put some of your products in gas stations or whatever. But you created a good distribution system. Now, in new marketing, here are some important concepts, and I hope you're doing all of them. AI stands for artificial intelligence. In other words, the use of social and digital tools, namely Facebook and Google and Instagram and TikTok and so on. I hope you're using these. You know, Procter & Gamble told me, and some work I did with them, that they turned a lot of their budget from being mass marketing budget to social media budget. And then they ended up reducing their social media budget. it was necessary to overspend on social media to learn which media works and to stop using the media that was tried that isn't working anymore. So Amway too will use all the social media, spend money there, and maybe conclude that some was wasted, but that was good knowledge because now you won't use the ones that didn't work for you. You're also going to try to use big data, gather a lot of customer data, and then use what is called machine learning to develop equations that show the importance of different variables in influencing customers to buy. You know, the role played by their education, their income, their lifestyle. You end up with regression equations that show what really moves customers. And I hope you're going to be using the what we call virtual reality to test some new product ideas. You know, you don't have to make a new product to test it. You can design it on the computer and you can make a virtual experience out of it where the customer actually says, yes, I'm willing to see your film on that new product. I know you haven't made it, but you're giving me an idea of what it would be like. And then by a vote taken after their exposure, if you find that most of them got very excited about that packaging and product, you say, great, I'm going to make it now. Much better to do it that way than to make it and find out there was no interest in it. And the metaverse, I shouldn't say multiverse, is some work you're doing. And please pay attention to the new currencies like that are now appearing. They're very speculative. We don't know whether they're going to keep growing in value or not. But this whole new blockchain is something you want your finance people to know about. Blockchains and these new currencies. Remember this, your customers are being contacted by your salespeople. And there's a journey taking place. Every time a customer calls one of your salespeople who they know, they're on a journey for another product that you make. And you want to study what journeys customers of yours are making and map these journeys. And along the way, it's usually touch points that occurred during the journeys that made a difference. It was a certain ad that they saw. It was the care they got from a certain salesperson at a certain touch point. Your company, Amway, has to be at all the touch points that matter in the customer's journey toward purchase. And also, you please, when you're sending communications to your customers, use their language, not your language. The language used by a millennial. Well, let's put it further. There are low-income people, middle-income people, high-income people. Their languages are different. So if you have something to sell to more high-income people, the words you're going to use are going to be different. Those words would sound stilted, artificial. They won't even understand some of those words if you direct them to low-income people. So you got to develop a picture of the person you're communicating to, the age, the income, the education of that person. And also make sure you offer nice information to people about helpful in their lives, about content that they would be interested in, things happening in the world, things that where they should use to lead a better life. So anyways, those are some of the features of the new marketing. And then these new technologies, voice. Well, I hope your people can get, we call it Siri. Siri is what you can get if you have an iPhone. You could ask Siri any question, and she can answer you what the weather is, and who is Talleyrand, or who is Emperor Joseph. I mean, they know everything. And there's another one called Alexa for other purposes. But facial recognition, should you need to have pictures of the faces of your customers? Maybe your salespeople have their pictures. Maybe if we saw a person on Facebook, on FaceTime, I mean, and we're seeing them on FaceTime, we can tell a lot about their mood from their face. Now, chatbots are often pieces of software that are set up to explain a new product. You could put any question to the chatbot about the new product. What's it priced at? And the chatbot would say, oh, it's priced at X dollars. What happens when how long does that product work before I have to give it to put it in disposal? And chatbot will answer all those questions. You hope that you might have some virtual agents while you're asleep as a marketer. You can't market 24 hours a day. Things are happening. Your competitors are doing things. So have you set up some virtual agents? And are you automating some of your marketing? You know, there are some routine things in marketing that ought to be automated so you don't have to put any time into them. I want you to watch very carefully what's happening to bioscience and gene editing in the future, and also neuroscience. If someone comes up to you and says, I'd like to join Amway, I'm a neuroscientist, you might say, what's that? Are you a social scientist? Are you a sociologist, a psychologist? No, I am a neuroscientist. So what do you know? I know a lot of how the human brain works. My specialty is brain science. And therefore, I can probably help you compose better communications because we know how people interpret communications they receive. Okay, these are some technologies that are coming into greater use. Watch your competitors, by the way. Always ask which competitors are growing, which are declining, what new ones are entering. Watch out for that. Watch out for what we call the disruptors, who come with a lower price and maybe a poorer offer, but they grow until they become better and they compete. How do you rate your competitors as value suppliers? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? How can Amway be creative and innovative? And I mean by that more creative and more innovative. 4 things. Hire marketers and sales personnel who have new ideas, who finds it easy to have new ideas and can think out of the box. There are some salespeople who do a wonderful job, not with any new ideas, they just end up selling very effectively. But you need some people who say, why can't Amway sell? No, I'll give you an absurdity. Why can't Amway make a car and sell a car? Well, there's good reason it shouldn't. But what other new ideas do you have that it could make and sell? You want people like that. And you want to celebrate the new ideas that you already got from your employees. Please celebrate them. Show that you listened. Give them commendation on and thanks for those ideas. Also anticipate changes in our society, in our economy, our politics, our legal system, our social and cultural and technology systems, because they're all going to affect your customers and your products. And finally, ask your customers themselves on how you can improve your service to them. You know who does a good job of that? Starbucks. Starbucks has a system where they ask the ones who just drank their coffee and had the experience in their store. Could we do better? How? What can we do better? I want to say this too. A company's assets are misunderstood greatly. Because if I said to you, what are your assets as Amway? You'd say your physical plant, your equipment, and your inventory. And you wouldn't be wrong. Problem is, you're only describing your physical assets. But the more important assets you have are your intangible assets, your employees, and the extent to which they care about your company is your asset. Your customer base and the extent to which your customers care about your company. Your channel partners who also supply things for you that you need. Agencies and so on. Your intellectual capital, how the quality of your intellectual capital. And your brands. Wow, brands are capital. You just name Amway makes this, and it should have great resonance. So I'm almost finished. And in our talk together, we mentioned H2H, the new book on human-to-human marketing. I want to show you this chart. We must avoid 3 types of bad marketing, okay? One is called wasteful marketing, things that were a waste. You didn't have to do it that way. 2, inane marketing, silly things that you did, you thought they were going to work, but they were inane. They didn't even fit the customer's mentality or interest. Unethical marketing, anything done that is not ethical. You don't want to be exposed ever for doing anything that's cheating the customer, because you want your marketing to be H2H marketing, decent human-to-human marketing. So winning at marketing, here are some points in summary. Win through marketing creativity plus digital knowledge and processes. 2, use customer journey mapping, touchpoint marketing, personas, content, and influencers. 3, use virtual reality to gauge a buyer's interest in possible future products. 4, use neuroscience tools to identify best stimuli to use. 5, use predictive analytics and machine learning to identify the customers and their needs. And I conclude with this. Don't just advertise the brand. You have a great brand. Live it, and you are living it. Thank you very much for your questions that we answered first, and for taking the time to see my organized ideas on doing better marketing. Thank you very much.